Diplomatic agents are officials appointed by a state to represent its interests in foreign countries and conduct international relations. Their status, privileges, and immunities are primarily governed by international law, particularly the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, 1961. Diplomatic agents include ambassadors, envoys, and other officials who work in embassies or consulates. This video highlight 1. The functions of diplomatic agents such as representation, negotiation, protection of nationals, information gathering, promoting friendly relations, and main functions in consular services. 2. Privileges and immunities includes personal inviolability, immunity from jurisdiction, and inviolability of residence and property. 3. Obligations of diplomatic agents includes respect for local laws and regulations, non-interference in internal affairs, proper use of diplomatic premises, duty to notify receiving state, avoidance of commercial activities and protection of mission dignity, and 4. Termination of diplomatic functions that is governed by the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, customary international law, and bilateral state practice. According to Article 3 of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, key functions of diplomatic agents include representation. Diplomatic agents represent their state in the host country, engaging with government officials and local entities to promote and protect their country's interests. Negotiation. Diplomatic agents negotiate agreements and treaties on behalf of their home state, facilitating communication between countries and helping to resolve conflicts. Protection of nationals. Diplomatic agents provide assistance and protection to their country's citizens who are residing or traveling in the host country, helping with legal issues and emergencies. Information gathering. Diplomatic agents gather and report on political, economic, and social conditions in the host country, providing valuable insights and intelligence to their home government. Promoting friendly relations. Diplomatic agents work to foster friendly bilateral relations, engaging in cultural exchanges, and promoting trade and investment opportunities. Main functions in consular services. While consuls have different responsibilities compared to diplomats, they also assist nationals, issue passports, and handle specific administrative tasks. Diplomatic agents are granted certain privileges and immunities under international law, primarily through the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. These include personal inviolability, immunity from jurisdiction, and protection of their residence and property, allowing them to perform their duties without interference from the host state. Diplomatic privileges and immunities begin when the diplomat enters the host state, or when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is notified of their appointment. Immunity continues for a reasonable duration after the diplomat's mission ends to allow them to conclude their affairs and return home. These privileges and immunities are essential for maintaining diplomatic relations and ensuring that diplomats can carry out their functions without undue influence or harassment from the host state. Personal inviolability. Diplomatic agents cannot be arrested or detained by the host state. The host state must take all necessary measures to protect the diplomat's physical well-being, personal liberty, and dignity. Immunity from jurisdiction. Diplomatic agents are exempt from the criminal, civil, and administrative jurisdiction of the host state. This immunity covers both official acts related to their diplomatic duties and private acts while serving in the diplomatic mission. Immunity from jurisdiction does not mean immunity from legal accountability. It means exemption from the host country's legal processes. Inviolability of residence and property. The private residence of a diplomatic agent is granted the same level of inviolability and protection as the embassy premises. Diplomatic agents' property cannot be searched, and legal documents cannot be served to them personally. The obligations of diplomatic agents are framed by the functional necessity theory. Immunities exist to facilitate their work, not to shield misconduct. Below are the key obligations of diplomatic agents. The violations of these obligations can lead to persona non grata declarations, waivers of immunity, or other diplomatic repercussions. Respect for local laws and regulations. Diplomatic agents are expected to abide by the laws of the receiving state, even though they enjoy immunity from jurisdiction. Non-interference in internal affairs. Diplomats must refrain from interfering in the internal affairs of the receiving state. This is a cornerstone of diplomatic relations and is tied to the principle of sovereign equality. Proper use of diplomatic premises. Diplomatic premises must be used solely for official purposes. According to Article 22 of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, the inviolability of missions does not grant carte blanche. Misuse such as harboring criminals could lead to disputes or revocation of privileges. Duty to notify receiving state. According to Article 39 of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, diplomats are required to notify the receiving state of their arrival and official status to activate immunities. This underscores their obligation to transparency. Avoidance of commercial activities. According Article 31 of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, diplomats are prohibited from engaging in professional or commercial activities outside their official duties. Protection of mission dignity. The receiving state must protect the dignity of the mission, but diplomats equally have an obligation not to abuse their status or provoke disturbances. The termination of diplomatic functions is governed by the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, customary international law, and bilateral state practice. The main methods include expiration of mission or recall by sending state. Diplomatic functions typically terminate when the diplomat's assignment concludes or the sending state recalls them. The immunities continue for a reasonable period to allow departure. Declaration of persona non grata. According to Article 9 of Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, the receiving state may declare a diplomat persona non grata at any time, requiring their recall. Waiver of immunity by the sending state. The sending state may explicitly waive a diplomat's immunity, leading to potential prosecution or civil liability in the receiving state. Severance of diplomatic relations. If two states break diplomatic ties, all diplomatic functions cease and missions are closed. End of special missions. Special envoys, temporary diplomats, lose immunity once their mission concludes, unless otherwise agreed.